सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयम् यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। आप भूल जाओ नहीं। यत्राध्यस्तमिदं सर्वं मे मात्राद्य विद्यया भाति नो भाति यज्ञानात् तदस्मि ब्रह्मचित् सुखम्। The last verse यावान् स्यादिदमंशो यः सस्वतोऽन्यो विशेषणम् विशेषप्रक्षयो यत्र सिद्धो ज्ञश्चित्रगुर्यथा। यावान् स्यात् इदमंशः, in the ahankara, whatever is the idam amsha. Right now, aham means I. In that I, the true aham amsha and the idam amsha both are united in there. Whatever is the extent of idam amsha, which arises from the identification of upadhi. So, saha swataha anyaha, that is different from myself. Visheshanam, therefore it is Visheshanam, not the self. Vishesha prakshayo yatra siddha. Since Visheshanam, it is like the Chinnahasta. So I am totally separate from that. So here, although normally Visheshanam and Vishesha are not totally separated, Visheshanam is located in Vishesha. So different examples were given. That first the Chinnahasta example was given. Then the Alankara Visheshana was given. Alankaranam. The Alankara has its ashraya or locus in the one who wears Alankara. But still, even that also is related but separate. But here now we are saying that the so-called Visheshanam is totally superimposed. So Visheshanam or attribute has no connection whatever with the Adhishthanam. So relationship here is similar to that between the Adhishthanam, Adhyaropa, The Visheshana is Adhyaropitam. The true Aham is Adhisthana. Normally Aham is experienced as the union of Adhisthana and Adhyaropa. Not recognizing one aspect Adhyaropa, there is no connection with the two, no connection with the real self. But then habitually it is taken with the self. Not only that, but then self is judged that way. So recognizing that Vishesha Prakshaya Yatra Siddha. So wherever the Vishesha Prakshaya, that because it is superimposition, therefore it can be negated. Leaving the Adhishthanam intact. Otherwise Visheshana goes, Vishesha also suffers a loss. If Dhanam goes, then Dhanvan suffers a loss. That's not the case here. In fact, Visheshana created a loss. Visheshana was a superimposition and therefore created this false impression that the Adhishthanam, the self, is limited. Therefore, Vishesha Prakshayo Yatra. When you find total elimination of Vishesha, living nirvishesha, now that's interesting. When Visheshas are all removed, normally when Vishesha goes, Vishesha also goes away. If Dhanam goes, Dhanvan goes away. That is why in so many examples, the relationship between Vishesha, Visheshanam and Vishesha, so-called Vishesha, is pointed out here. That after the Visheshana goes away, then also what remains is intact. In fact, what appeared to be limited now is recognized as limitless. So this Visheshana only created a sense of limitedness. Because Visheshana is limited. And therefore, by equating that Visheshana with the Adhishthanam here, the Adhishthanam was judged to be as small as Visheshana. So the self-judgment changes. As Visheshanas are let go, that is the whole process of Vairagya, by the way. It begins by discarding things that are a burden to me, recognizing things that are a burden to me. What I am holding on to at any level, at physical level, emotional level, intellectual level, ego level, what I am holding is all a burden to me. Today I see security in them. I see glorification in these things, I'm glorified because I'm well known. I'm glorified because I'm powerful. I'm glorified with so and so. I see glorification there. Now recognizing each one of them is a burden to me, denying the true nature of myself. And more I feel glorified by these Visheshanas, farther away I get from the Adhisthana. So Vairagya is not letting go, Vairagya is recognizing. These things are not favoring me, these things are damaging me. Although I'm raised with that kind of samskara. This is called glorification, this is success. So wherever I am, I always use that, wherever I use that as a means of that getting that success called glorification, power, this, that and what, in my own way. Not recognizing that way I'm denied what I'm seeking. The real success that I'm seeking in life is denied by the assertion of what is false success. And so this letting go has to start from the day one. You can't give up this Visheshana and all these silly things that are held on to. It's not possible. So Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Sadhaka Sampatti is all process of letting go. More I hold on to things, more I am separating myself from the true nature of myself. Vishesha prakshayo yatra siddha. That I am no less by giving up Visheshana, I should know that. I am more by giving up Visheshana, not less. Usually Visheshana we hold on to. Because we see only glorification in Visheshana, success in Visheshana, and the whole world does it. But as these Visheshanas are given up, the burden is given up and freedom is discovered. Because everything always expects a pound of flesh from you. You cannot hold on to something unless you pay the price for it. Anyway, so Vishesha Prakshayatra. So this famous, little dialogue that Swamiji by studying Vedanta, what glory, what specialty you get? He says it's for giving up specialty, Visheshanas, not for adding Visheshanas. And here that there is no connection between Visheshana and Visheshya. Visheshana Atma is no connection. He is like the Adhisthana Adhyara, but still more a clear example is given. Chitra Guhu Yatha. Devdatta is called Chitra Guhu, is qualified by Chitra Gauhu, or is qualified by a variegated spotted cow. In here there is no connection between Devdatta and that cow. It's an interesting kind of a compound, Chitra Guhu. Chitra Guhu Yasyasa Chitra Guhu, one possessing the spotted cow. This fellow is qualified by cow. There is no connection with the cow. Atma is qualified by various things, worldly things. Because you cannot, that Chitra Guhu cannot give up cow if he is connected with the cow. We cannot give up the Visheshanas, we are connected with Visheshanas. But Devadatta can completely give up the cow. And that way the Visheshana, Chitra Guhu, without losing anything. That's important. We always feel we lose something by letting go at every step. Letting go something is so difficult. From holding we see security, and letting go is so difficult. Chitra Guhu Yatha. Now continuing with the last verse of this chapter. Nanu ahamaha anatmatve katham aham brahmedi tadatma shruti upadyete. But teacher says you are Brahman. Tat tvamasi, where Tat is Brahman, Tvam is you. So Upadesha is you are Brahman. And the knowledge is Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Tadatma Shruti. This Tadatma between you and Brahman, Tat and Tvam. So that is what is taught, and this is what he learns, and then he realizes Aham Brahmasmi, the Tadatma between Aham and Brahman. Meaning Aham and Brahma are of the same level of reality. It's an equation. You say that Aham is false. Aham anatmatve. Whatever that Aham is, which you feel, What is meant by the idam amsha is what you feel. I feel the hum. I feel glorified, I feel great, I feel inferior, whatever I feel. And that is all idam amsha, that is all anatma. So what I know today the aham is anatma. Aham anatmatve katham aham brahma iti tadatma shruti upadyeta. Then how can this aham brahma, that knowledge can be there? Because there is tadatmya. Aham is atma, brahma, brahma is atma. Aham, meaning that they are of the same degree of reality. How can it be? Brahma is real, aham is false. So how do you say aham brahmasmi? Ida ashankya. So what is this upadesha tattvamasi? When the teacher says you are Brahma, but the you part is mithya, is false. So how can teacher say you are Brahma? So you are equated to Brahma, that's what that statement means, isn't it? So Tika says, Adyasta ahankarasya mula nivrityartha shruti na ahankarasya atmatva pratyayartha iti. So you are Brahma. It's not that you as you know it today is Brahman. No, ahankarasya, so right now he knows himself as ahankara. When it is say you are Brahma, it is not that ahankara that you are is Brahma. No, ahankarasya atmatva pratipatyartha iti. He knows himself as I right now, which is ahankara. You are Brahman, that doesn't mean that you, as you know yourself, ahankara is meant to be Brahman. That is not the purpose of the Shruti. The Shruti, Tadatma is there, Aham and Brahma, but not that Aham, as you know today, is equated to Brahma. Then what? Adyastha ahankarasya mula nivrityartha shruti. So nivritya aham, rather than of, so it is aham that is to be brought to the Brahma level, not Brahma at the level of aham. Then the student retains the idea of aham as it is and then sees as Brahman. That's not what is intended by the Shruti. That aham Brahma. So what I see myself today is whatever it is that Brahma? No, then that's not I. So you are Brahma is told to you. For you to examine whether you, as you know yourself to be right now, are you Brahma? No. I'm a karta. Then, mula nivrityartha shruti. You are Brahman. I am karta. That is not Brahman. Then give up kartrutva. So keeping Brahman in mind, you keep on deliberating upon the true nature of aham. This equation is given to us. Not to say that I am already Brahman, you are God, etc. Will it not create an ego in you? And it can create. This is a common question. Swami keeps on telling, you are Brahman, you are Brahman. And people become egoistic also. I am Brahman, I am Bhagavan. It is not to bring down Bhagavan or Brahman to the level of aham. It is to raise aham to the level of Brahma. That's the purpose there. That's what Vedanta is saying. What is this? You are saying that ये आपका ब्रह्म क्या करता है? उसमें हम ही चला जाता है, जीव चला जाता है. If they want to hold on to that, I cannot give up my aham. Akhandananda used to say, that some devotee came and says to one Mahatma, I want to see God. It's all right. Come here at such and such time in the evening. Other devotees were there, and then they started bhajan, and then slowly the whole atmosphere became so divine. That people want to see Bhagavan retaining the ahankara, and then want to see Bhagavan. Says, no. You have to let go that, then only Bhagavan is possible. To retain myself aham and then I want to see myself as Brahman, not possible. That's the whole process here. The idam amsha is not you, which right now you are equating yourself with I. That's not you. Because anidam is idam, you are anidam. This doesn't happen in one process of meditation or something. It's a lifetime process. I cannot be holding on to my littleness and then hope that in meditation I will see myself Brahman. So, adhyastha ahankarasya mula nivrityartha shruti, very important. This shruti tattvamasi or aham brahmasmi is ahankarasya mula nivrityartha shruti. Ahankara is mula. What is superimposition? Adhyastha or vidya. It is to dispel the ignorance which creates the ahankara, or ignorance the true nature of aham, which is the intention of the shruti. Na ahankarasya atmatva pratipatyartha. Not that ahankara, as you know, is Brahman. But then Brahman is ahankara, and therefore what do you find in ahankara? Not Brahman, let go. So is mul nivritti. That is called ignorance, nivritti of ignorance. Ignorance manifests all kinds of notions. Iti pariharati. So that is how the answer is given in the 6th verse. Idamam sohamityatra tyajyo natmeti panditaihi aham brahmeti shishtam saha bhuta purvagater bhavet. Idam amsha ahamiti atra tyajya. When you say you are Brahman, in you, whatever idam amsha is there, it is for giving up that is Upadesha is given. The Atma adi Panditahi, that is not Atma. Atma is not Tyajya also, but Atma cannot be given up anyway. But that ahankara is Atma, that's not what is meant. What is meant is that idam amsha is Tyajya, for that this Upadesha is given. That you are Brahma. Whatever else you think about you is not you. So this nischaya must happen in Panditas. Aham brahmeti shishtamsha bhuta purvagater bhavet. So Tika explains. So aham brahmeti. So ahamiti atra ahankar avabhase ya idam amshaha. So right now aham, when you say ahankara avabhase, the aham is shining. Ya idam amshaha sa na atma yadi panditaihi nischitam. That idam amsha is not atma. So that is the purpose of Tattvamasi Shruti. Why? Drishyatva, because because you're aware of it. When you focus attention on yourself, you become aware of my bigness, smallness, my doing, not doing, whatever. So whatever it is that about you that you're aware of is not you. Idam na atma drishyatva. Drishya meaning that it is an object of awareness. You are aware of that. Drishya may not be that it is an object of your perception or something. Means not that you see it by sense organ, but you are aware. About your smallness, you are aware. About your doership, you are aware. So you are aware. You pay attention. I am a meditator, I am aware. So whatever you are aware of about yourself, you are aware of. As it is, whatever you are aware of is not you. That's a general rule. So that will I follow. What is outside the body I am not, this is very clear to me. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti abhidhiyate. A kaunteya kshetram also is idam amsha, idam. And sharira is not only sthula sharira, even sukshma sharira also. Which includes the manaha, buddhi, which includes all the vrittis of the manaha, all the emotions, and buddhi, all the other notions, ahankara. Sanatma drishyatvat iti. It's all drishya. I'm aware of that. You're all objects of awareness. You're all illumined. Otherwise you can't be aware of them. Iti nisyitya panditahi tyajya. So that is not Atma, and therefore Pandita, meaning Mumukshu, should give them up. Not judge them by that amsha. Because judging myself by that amsha will create a complex. That is called Granthi. That is the Atmanatma Granthi. So the self-judgment is changing. Tasmin Atmavimana na karyaha ityartha. That is the amsha. That is kartrutva, bhoktrutva, bigness, smallness, whatever it is, Atmavimana na karyaha. You should not look upon that as Atma. Recognize that as Anatma. Meaning Aham is not Brahma. That's what it means. Whatever you know as Aham is not Brahma. Because Idam Amsha is not Brahma, and therefore whatever you right now you know as Aham is not Brahma. Tari katham Shruti nirdesha. Then why does Shruti say you are Brahma? Whatever is Aham is not Brahma, because that is all Idam Amsha, and there is Tyajya. You know, how come Shruti says you are Brahma? Or the wise person is Aham Brahmasmi. Tatra Aham Brahmeti Shishtamsa Bhutapurva Gater Bhaved. Aham Brahma iti Vakyartha Nishtayam. That's a Vakyartha. It's the equation of Aham and Brahma. Aham is Tvam-pada, Brahma is Tat-pada. Vakyartha Nishtayam. Nishtha of Vakyartha, of Mahavakya, the identity. Ahankaram ullikhyate. So Aham, that is mentioned there in Aham Brahmasmi. Sa Bhutapurva Gatehe Bhaved. Bhutapurva Gati. What is Bhuta? Bhuta, Sanjata, Purvam, Gatihi, Praptihi, Yasyayate Vigraha. It is because of the old habit, old thinking, old conclusion. Because the inquiry begins with aham. Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvataha. Now that is what is the nature of aham? This is what our inquiry is. The aham Brahma. That's the vakya. What is the nature of aham? That's not the inquiry. Aham Brahma. So then whatever I know as aham, is it Brahma? So that aham, patati aham, then that aham falls down, not false aham. Aham anashabhaji, aham taya. When that aham falls down, then aham paramapurna sat shines. So see that ahamness remains there, not in primary sense. Because all along I start aham, that is what I look upon myself as aham. Bhuta purvagati. All my samskara so far is to look upon myself as aham. Therefore, Brahman is looked upon myself, although the meaning of aham has changed completely. But I continue to say aham brahmasmi. Where aham doesn't mean what it meant earlier. So ahankara laksham vastu. Idam aham pada bhikshamanvaham. Ahamilineke pelaya sattaya. This aham pada bhiksham. What is meant by the word aham? Formerly it was the vachyartha, meaning that ahankara. Now it is lakshyartha, meaning it is Brahman. You continue to use the word aham. That's the idea here. Bhuta purvagatya. Why? The earlier gati, earlier habit, I continue to look upon Brahman as aham now. Brahman is aham. Ahankara laksham vastu tat sakshi rupam ahamiti shrutya ullikhyate. So when you say aham Brahma, when Shruti says, then that aham is not ahankara, but then ahankara laksham vastu. That's what Vedantin say, the vachyartha and lakshyartha. That's the technical way of saying. Vachyartha is where idamamsha is all mixed up. Lakshyartha is devoid of. So is that aham doesn't totally go away. In aham, my knowledge of aham, the aham does not totally go away, only the idamamsha goes away. And then what I thought to be aham becomes very clear to me, where ahamness does not remain. And still you tentatively call it aham and they call it lakshyartha. So, sakshi rupam, illuminator of that ahankara. This is what Shrutya ullikhyate. When Shruti uses the word aham brahmasmi, it is in that sense that the word aham is used by Shruti. Not that Brahman is brought down to the level of aham. Aham is to be seen as Brahman. That's the prakriya here. The Shashtam Vishesha Apoha Prakaranam. This is a prakaranam where Vishesha Apoha is all given up. So Nirvishesha, recognizing Nirvishesha Brahma. Because Visheshas can be given up therefore. Visheshas can all be given up without at all giving up the so-called Vishesha or Vishishta. Because the relationship is between the similar to Adhisthana Adhyaropa. Therefore, by giving up Vishesha, I become bigger. This is the whole process here. Usually the world always looks upon success and Vishesha. He says, give up the Vishesha, then you discover the true dimension of yourself. Then continuing with the next, Buddhya-rudha Prakaranam. So what is the first word, Buddhya-rudha? So that's a Prakaranam. Evam kuta anvaya vyatiregasya parishodhyat padartha tattvasya. Evam kuta anvaya vyatiregasya. Thus was done the anvaya vyatirega. Parishodhyat padartha tattvasya. So pada, aham pada, parishodhita. Even Brahma also there are notions. Brahma also is thought to be Sarvajnam, Sarvashaktimat, etc. And there, but there also has to be clarified that there is also Upadika. Aham also there are notions that I am Alpajna, etc. There are also notions. So in both the padas, the amsha is there which are to be discarded, which are superimpositions. Parishodhita padartha tattvasya. In this manner, one who is then parishodhanam, say purification, inquiry, understanding, real understanding of this padartha. Vakyadeva vakyartha jnanamupadyate. So, Anvaya Vyatireka. What is Anvaya Vyatireka? That was explained. That idam amsha, like kartrutva, bhoktrutva, whatever. Anvaya Vyatireka. In Sushupti, the Vyatireka of kartrutva, etc., Anvaya of Atma. So, Atma is, kartrutva is, Atma is, kartrutva is not, Atma is, that is how kartrutva is, doesn't belong to Atma. So, that way is Anvaya Vyatireka. It's about one's own self also. In me also, how the notions are coming and going, like Alankara. What comes and goes, I cannot be. So that way one will recognize the true nature of oneself by ceasing to identify with idamamsha, ceasing to judge oneself with idamamsha. Vakyadeva vakyartha jnanam upapadyate. By the vakya itself, tattvamasi, that vakya enables him to lose anvaya vyatireka and let go of the idamamsha. That's the purpose of vakya. Vakyadeva vakyartha jnanam upapadyate. And therefore vakya is enough for the prepared mumukshu to know the meaning of vakya, recognize that I am Brahman. Iti upatya nirdharitam artham. So that was determined by upapatya reasoning in the previous chapters also. Nirdharitam artham, upatya nirdharitam artham. This was ascertained that this vakya aham brahmasmi is quite sufficient to give you the true knowledge of yourself. It's shown. Svanubhavastambhena. So that was my reasoning. Now anubhava avastambhena. Now if we examine our own anubhavas, if you examine our day-to-day experiences, then also you can arrive at the same knowledge. Anubhava avastambhena. Earlier, avastamba, we resorted to upapatti reasoning. This anvaya vyatireka reasoning. Now we will look at various anubhavas that we have and also see the same thing. So anubhava also can be used to gain the knowledge. Upapatti of anvaya vyatireka was presented as a means of gaining knowledge. Now anubhava also reveals that. Or what was said by reasoning is also verified by anubhava. Anubhava also reveals that I am Brahman. Spashtikartum prakranantaram arabhate. To clarify that, the next prakrana is begun. Buddhyarunam ityadina. So the first verse is Buddhyarudham sada sarvam drishyate yatra tatra va maya tasmat param brahma sarvajñaschasmi sarvagah. Yet tatra va sarvam maya buddhyarunam drishyate. Whatever I perceive, whatever I experience, yat tatra, wherever it is, in whichever state it is, any experience that I have, buddhyarunam, it is experience at the level of buddhi. So buddhi pervades the given object like ghatakara vrittis. So ghata is recognized by me, perceived by me, known by me when it is pervaded by buddhi. What does it say? Tasmat param brahma, therefore I am param brahma. Look at that. That simple experience. That whatever I know because of the buddhi. Therefore, sarvajnah, am param brahma, tasmat param brahma, aham param brahma, sarvajnaschasmi, I am all knowing, sarvajna, all pervading. So imagine a simple experience that whatever I experience is experienced through buddhi. Therefore, I am param brahma, I am omniscient, I am all pervading. So Tika says, Yasmad maya sarvam, sarvam means all, adhyatmam, adhibhutam, adhidaivam ityadi lakshanam. Adhyatmam at the individual level, adhibhutam the elemental level, adhidevam the divine level. As we said, in every experience all the three are always involved. This simple experience of talking, adhyatma, the organ of speech is adhyatma. The shabda that is produced is adhibhuta. And the dig devata, that is the adhisthana devata, vak is adhideva. So all the three are involved in every fire, not vak, but yeah, the devata is fire. So all the three are involved. Yatra tatrava. So wherever it is, Jagras swapnayoho, whether it's in waking or in dream, not in deep sleep, you don't experience anything. Ihaloka parlokayoho, what you experience in this world and even in heaven also, because when you go to heaven, you will experience that. So what is in heaven also will ultimately become the drishya, object of knowledge. So whatever is known and whatever is knowable, both of them. Right now, what is in Swarga or heaven, Paraloka, is not known to me, it's Paroksha. So that way also you can say, Pratyakshadaya, Parokshataya. Pratyakshata, what is perceived within the range of the sense organs. Parokshataya, what is beyond the range of sense organs. So, ihaloka paralokayoho means without any exception, that's the idea. What's below the earth, that also, someday it will be known. Right now it is known as being in the earth, parokshataya. So everything is known either pratyakshataya or parokshataya. Tatsaram buddhyarudham. It's all known through buddhi. Buddhyarudham, buddhi vritti krudikritam. Krudikritam, pervaded by, embraced by. Buddhi embraces, pervades. So when the ghata is known, buddhi embraces the ghata, you can say. Means buddhi krudikritam. It completely surrounds the ghata. So surrounds the ghata, embraces the ghata, pervades the ghata, whatever you want to call it. Buddhyarudham. So that is how it becomes a buddhi vritti. In short, whatever is known as a vritti of the buddhi. So ghata is not known to us directly. Ghata is known through the Ghatakara Vritti. All this has been discussed earlier. So what we experience is our Vritti. All the Vritti is so tadusha that we experience as though I am experiencing you sitting in front of me, etc. So Buddhi creates that. But what I am experiencing is my thought, my mind. That is the reason why it is possible that what I think I know may be different from what it is. That's called Brahma. If I see what is, then Brahma will never be there, then I will only know rope as rope. What I know is the Rajvakara Buddhi, the Buddhi that has taken the Akara of the object. And for that Akara, Buddhi has some needs. Buddhi may need clarity, it may need light, it may need conditions for knowing the object as it is. If those conditions are not, there is likely that Buddhi might misconstrue something. So we do not see things that are there. We see things as Buddhi presents them to us. This is by the way. That's why Brahma is there. If we saw things directly as they are, then there is no Brahma. Then there will be Prama only. Then because we are seeing things directly. We are seeing things as presented before us by our Buddhi. So Buddhi can have all kinds of problems. First thing is we know ourselves is presented by Buddhi, by the way. Let alone the world. The problem starts with myself. I know myself right now as presented to me by the Buddhi. That's called Ahankara. So Buddhi presents that self as in that manner. That's why I know it that way. And Buddhi presents, no doubt, the Jagat also as real. That reality also Buddhi superimposes upon Jagat. That's all Buddhi doing it. Jagat doesn't say I am real. Then Buddhi supposes the idea, I am real. So all these identifications, superimpose, everything takes place at the level of Buddhi. This is our life. Buddhyarudham Sadasarvam. All that's by the way we are saying how our life is completely determined by the Buddhi. How the Vedanta always focuses the attention on Buddhi. All understanding of Buddhi. That's where the problem is, that's where the solution is. But hereby it is said, Buddhyarudham Sadasaram Drushyate. So Drushyate, whatever it is, Prakashyate. Whatever is seen, whatever I am aware of, what is illumined by me, you can say, is all as a Buddhi Vritti. And Buddhi Vritti, the thought of the Buddhi is created when Buddhi assumes the form of the object. How? When it surrounds the objects, embraces the object, pervades the object. That's all. This is our experience. Svanubhava, this is Anubhava. What is Anubhava? What can we learn from the Anubhava? Tasmadaham Param Brahma. How do you say that? Right? From this little thing you say you are Brahman? It says yes. Tasmadaham Sarvasya Virakshanatvat. I am the Drashta. That is clear. The Drishya is all nothing but the Vritti of the Buddhi. That's all two things are there. I am there and Buddhi is there. That includes everything. Drishya is all Buddhi Vritti. I am Drashta. Drashta is Vilakshana, quite distinct from the Drishya. Tasmadaham Sarva Drishya Vilakshanatvad. So, Drashta here means in fact Sakshi or illuminator. Otherwise, Drashta is not independent of Drishya. But Drashta here means that I am the illuminator. The illuminator is not affected by what is illumined. Tasmad, the illuminator is Vilakshana, totally distinct from the illumined. The Drashta may not be totally free from Drishya because Drashta judges himself from what is Drishya. But Sarv Drishya Vilakshanatvat, I who illumine the Prakashyate. Everything is illumined through the buddhi. So I am the illuminator. The illuminator is distinct from what is illumined. Therefore, Sarvadrishya Vilakshanatva, that itself shows the fact that I am perceiver, shows that I am quite distinct from what is perceived. Therefore, who am I? Param Prapanchatitam Brahmasmi. I am Param Brahma. Param means Prapanchatitam, that which transcends the Prapancha, that is unconnected with Prapancha, unaffected by Prapancha. Illuminator is unaffected by what is illuminated. Prapancha, wherever it is, that's why it said Sada Sarvam. At all the time and everything. At all past, present, future, and Sarvam means Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, Adhidaiva, Jagrat, Swapna, whatever. That is the Prapancha. Who am I? I am the illuminator. Therefore, Prapanchatoham. So simply now, deliberating upon this simple thing, that I am the Drashta, the Prakashaka, the illuminator of whatever I experience. And therefore, I am different from what is experienced. Simple as that. Prapanchadidam Brahmasmi. Therefore, I am Prapanchatidoham. Therefore, I am Brahman. Sarvajnaha. I illuminate everything. Therefore, I know everything. Therefore, I am all-knowing. Sarvartha Prakashakaha. Wherever anything is illuminated through buddhi. That will be said in the next one. And buddhi is illuminated by consciousness. As consciousness, I illuminate everything. I am all-knowing. Sarvagaha, I am all-pervading. I pervade everything. Because buddhi pervades the object of perception. And consciousness pervades the buddhi, otherwise buddhi will not be known. An object will not be known unless buddhi pervades that. And buddhi vritti will not be known unless consciousness pervades it. So I as consciousness pervades the buddhi vritti, which pervades the objects. Therefore I am all pervasive. Wherever anything I am there. Swami used to say, you see those stars far away. You could not unless the consciousness that you are there. Ajayekam manaso javiyaha nainadeva atman purvamarshad. Already there. Like space is already there. Light is already there. You can see the bird flying in the space when the light is already there. Light is not seen. But you recognize the presence of light when you see the bird. Bird cannot be seen unless the light is there. Therefore, light has to be there before the bird reaches there. So you can see light already reached before the bird reached. Means it's all pervading. Sarvagaha aparichinnascha sasmiti. And therefore, I see everything simultaneously, not even one by one. Consciousness illuminating simultaneously will be explained in next verse. Buddhi may see things one by one, Pariyayana. But consciousness, I eliminate everything simultaneously. Therefore, I am all-knowing. Buddhi is not all-knowing. Buddhi is little knowing. Every buddhi is little knowing. But every buddhi is illumined by the consciousness. And therefore, as consciousness, I am Sarvajñah, Sarvagaha, Param Brahma. So, Svanubhavastambhena. That's the brilliant thing, you know. There's one's Anubhava that also reveals. Now that is explained, you know. This was a statement made here. Nanu katham etavada sarvajñatvam. How do you say you are all-knowing, omniscient? Just because you see this ghatapata, etc., how do you say you are omniscient? Purusha antar buddhya rudayarthe purusha antarasya anubhava smaranayoho asambhavad. For you to be omniscient, all-knowing, you must know what is known in all the buddhis. Is not so? That's called omniscience. So, apariyayana, simultaneously. We call it trikalajñah. He simultaneously knows everything in all three periods of time, everywhere. Their omniscience. So, some sampradayas say that you are wise only when you are omniscient. The Jains will say that Tirthankar is omniscient. He simultaneously perceives the past, present, future, here, there, and whatever, you know. So that is called apariyayana. Pariyaya means one by one, apariyayana, simultaneously. Katham etavata sarvajñatvam. Just because you are the illuminator of the object or buddhi, how do you become omniscient? Purushantar buddhya rudayate purushantarasya anubhavasmaranayo asambhavad. For you to be omniscient, all-knowing, you must know what's going on in the mind of all. You must know what everybody is knowing. Is it not so? Then only you are all-knowing. How can one know what's going on in the mind of the other? What an ant knows, what a mosquito knows, what a fly knows. Purushanta, because everybody knows through the buddhi. Buddhyaruda. Everybody has their own buddhi and they have their own specific knowledge. How do you become omniscient? How do you claim to be omniscient? Because that presupposes you know everything that's going on in the mind of all. It's not possible that one person knows what's going on in the mind of the other one. Vedanta says there is no need to that you know everything. What's the big deal ever? Suppose you know, so what? So that kind of siddhi is not associated with freedom. A lot of siddhis that you fly up and go, and this kind of siddhis are equated to liberation. Whereas no, Atma is already siddha. What is his siddha anyway? Why should we have to worry about flying and stuff like that? Spending a lot of time and energy in knowing things, and why should we worry about it? It's all job of buddhi. You identify everybody's buddhi is your buddhi, then that's it. You don't have to know specifically. Anyway, so ekasyatmana sarvasa prakashakatva asiddhehe, therefore you, one Atma, knows what is in your buddhi, other one knows what is in that buddhi, and therefore how can you illumine all the objects simultaneously and claim to be omniscient? So Vedantin talks about sarvajñatvam in a different way. Other will talk of sarvajñat, omniscience in a different way, in a primary sense. Vedanta talks in this manner. So to answer this question, the next verse says, Yathatma buddhicharanam sakshi tadvat pareshvapi नैवापोढुं न चादातुम् शक्यस्तस्मात् परो ह्यहम्. यथा आत्मबुद्धि चारणam sakshi, just as I am the witness of what's going on in my buddhi. Tadvat parishvapi. So also I am the sakshi, the witness of what's going on in other buddhi also. And therefore I am omniscient. Neva podum ne chadatum shakya. And then I cannot be given up, nor can I be acquired. Tasmat aham paraha. Therefore I am paraha. I am limitless. So I am all pervasive, sarvajnah, I am sarvagah, and all-knowing sarvajnah. So that is what is shown here, how that simple experience reveals that sarvajnaschasmi, param brahma, sarvajnaschasmi, sarvaga. That's the pratigna in the second line of the first verse. That's being shown here. We'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.